Ooh, all right. Welcome everyone. Can everyone hear me well? Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. Hey, Mino, what's up? Adriana, what's up? Joel, welcome back. Just for confirmation before we begin, let's make sure that you guys can actually hear me. There's a slight delay, obviously, so. Perfect. Okay, I checked on my end, and it seems like everything looks great. All right, that sounds pretty crisp there. Yeah, so guys, I gotta have a new mic here, so everything should sound a lot better. There should be no echo. There should be just an overall better sound to the live stream. All right. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you guys. Thank you. Hey, nothing. What's up? What's up? Welcome back as well. Hey, there's a lot of people here tonight. Awesome. So, before we begin, I want to talk about the markets. All right, so the markets today, inflation, right? CPI report came in a little bit hotter than expected, right? And that was something that I guess obviously was not expected since it broke expectations, right? I think it was 3.2% for expectations, and then the actual data was for December's inflation or CPI was 3.4%. I think that was the headline CPI as well. So that spooked the markets just a bit. All right, and today we got our first kind of volatile. Well, it was volatile. Move lower with this move down in the early morning, and then somewhere around midday we got that nice pivot from 472.50. All right, so today's price action is clearly indicating that bears aren't able to really formulate a good move or push lower, and bulls are still very much in control of the price action and momentum whenever we see a pivot low occurring. Now, thanks to today's push though, we're able to see a lot of weak buyers getting out as we pushed lower and lower until we retested the daily 10 and the daily 21 SMA on the daily time frame, right? So we retested the 10 and then my 21. Now, what's interesting here is that the S&P 500 SPY has avoided a very bearish crossover of the daily 10 and 21, where the daily 10 moves below and crosses below the daily 21 SMA. But if you guys take a look, all right, not SPX, my bad, guys. ES, right? This is the S&P 500 futures. We see a bearish cross, right? This is the official cross on the futures market. So this is officially, right, a bearish signal, but it doesn't mean that we're gonna, flush lower. We can still be making higher highs and higher lows with volatility, with that added on volatility, since we did see the volatility expanding today, but obviously getting crushed once more and being compressed. So that's another warning sign here, as we're constantly seeing volatility, seeing a big expansion and then an immediate crush after. So there is an attempt to see a jump in volatility, which is not good for the overall equity markets. But yet again, right, sellers aren't able to provide enough momentum, enough volume in order to sustain a larger push lower for the initial pullback before we see any type of consolidation in the next few weeks or next few months, right? So again, as I've been saying on Tuesday as well, I truly thought that we could be seeing a nice blow off the top. That's especially what I saw this early morning, and I guess the first half of today. And we took a little tiny loss there on some SPY puts, and it seems like having a bearish outlook right now, short term, is not going to fit too well because again, the momentum is still very bullish. This is a very, very, very good pivot from the lows today at this 472.50 whole number level plus the daily 10 and daily 21 SMA. But if I kind of stretch that short-term perspective, you guys have to understand that we are still we're still very much in need of consolidation, which is the reason why I think SPY can still go down to 460 around late January after January's OPEX, and of course after the first FOMC meeting of this year into February, which is seasonal, from a seasonal standpoint, right? It is the worst and poorest performing month in quarter one. Right, so for SPY, it's gonna get volatile, right? I mean, the price action alone just this week has been volatile, right? Even just in the intraday time frames, and today was a great example of that. Okay, so the S&P 500, the analysis that I gave you guys on Tuesday, I was half right and half wrong today, since I was totally expecting to see the market closing at lows, but we did not get that. Now, obviously, one day is not going to make a trend, so we have to see if we're going to break over today's high at 478.12 and eventually hit 479.20, which has been a target level for the S&P 500, right? Or if you guys want to use an even more quote-unquote magnetized level, 480 is another great level to be looking at, right? 480 might be the actual target for SPY. For SPX, right, 4800 has been a very magnet level that we just rejected off of today, right? The high on SPX was 4798.50. We're literally an inch away, a centimeter away, and we're already seeing the type of volatility and kind of bearishness coming in as the price hits that 4800 level on SPX. Okay, so these are all kind of slight warning signs that you guys should consider and have in the back of your head, in your minds, in your brains, as you head into the next few weeks, into especially the first week of February, right? And the last week of January is what I was trying to say. So, for SPY, again, tomorrow we have the PPI report coming. People are expecting the PPI report to be, better than expected, right? So, which means it's going to be lower than expected data, right? The expectations, which is completely opposite of what occurred today with CPI, since it came hotter than expected, which is an increased number from the expected number. So, or expected value. So, it'll be pretty funny to see if PPI turns out to be a lot cooler compared to the CPI report today. But based on what we've seen so far, I think the market is really not going to care too much about PPI. It's been really focusing on the CPI for the first month of January. The first report for the first month of January 2024. Obviously, today's inflation data was for December. Right? Hopefully, you guys remember that. All right, CPI report is always lagging by 1 month. Hey, Miner. So you said, what's a good book to read for trading? I have a good list. I can send it in the Discord room if you guys want. For anyone in the Discord room who is watching the live stream right now. So I'll make sure to give you guys a good list. Okay, so yes, please. Okay, all right. I'll go ahead and send it in the Discord chat room, right? So for SPY tomorrow, okay, we are. I'm not gonna say anything decisive now, since I've only been half right and the other half has been wrong so far. Since obviously we closed at near highs today with a nice hammer today, hammer candlestick, which completely negated the last half of my analysis that I gave to you guys on Tuesday. So with PPI report, I don't know how the market is gonna react. On hey Miner, thank you, man. Thank you. Yes, like the stream. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you guys always enjoy any of my content, any of my live streams, it really helps just to press that like button. It only takes a microsecond. But if you guys don't like it, and if you guys don't want to press the like button, that's completely fine. It's all up to you, right? So, I truly believe that tomorrow around pre-market, it's gonna be volatile, just like we saw today, around 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is my time zone. We saw the market kind of going up and down until obviously when the data came out at 5:30, it flushed. So CPI, I can be expecting the same thing, where tomorrow we can have a nice flush again, and then another pivot up higher somewhere around midday. All right, that can completely happen, right? That's what we tend to see on Friday as a bunch of 0DTE options volume comes in. All right, Friday is a prime time and prime day for all that to happen, which increases volatility, which is the reason why I actually have a position in VIXY, right? VIXY, all right? So this obviously tracks the VIX, right? And VIXY, I chose VIXY compared to UVXY. I mean, it was more of an arbitrary choice, but I usually tend to go for UVXY, but I said, why not? Let's go for VIXY. I haven't seen this one and traded this one in a while, so, but essentially the same thing, right? UVXY, VIXY, doesn't really matter. Now, for the S&P 500, again, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. PPI report, it's definitely going to introduce volatility, plus on top of that, 0DTE traders, right? So tomorrow, definitely, if you guys want to take a break at the end of the week, do that. I highly recommend it. Since today was, again, very volatile, you can take a look at the 15-minute time frame, and you can see that volatility where we see a complete switch in momentum from bearishness to bullishness, bearishness, and then to bullishness, right? It's pretty interesting to read what happened today based on the data that we have from today's price action, right? But it is kind of easy to be going for bullishness again, because again, on the daily time frame, we have the hammer candlestick. Also on the 15-minute time frame, we have a pretty nice cup and handle forming. All right, so it's not. I'm not gonna be too decisive again on my analysis here because we have PPI reports, but the data is there, right? The data is there, right? Hey, I see more people coming in. What's up, guys? What's up? Make sure you guys smash that like button down below if you guys are liking what you guys are hearing. Okay, so that's kind of it for my S&P 500 for today. I mean, I think I'm just gonna do nothing tomorrow. That's what I did mostly today, managing my my positions, getting stopped out and stuff like that. So tomorrow might just be a day to just relax, watch the markets, look at the market flow, look at the sector rotations that could be going on, money outflow, money inflow, looking at the options market, etc. Okay, so I want to go over some strong tickers that we've been watching. Okay, so PLTR is at a pretty good spot here, right? It's been showing some very good coherency to this very large macro support trend line, this ascending support trend line that we've been forming since late to mid-May, or mid to late May. Mid to late May. That sounds a lot better. So for PLTR, I posted it in the Discord, in the public Discord. So if you guys want to join, just DM me. That PLTR, I did a complete breakdown, by the way, on PLTR, and so far it's been faring out really well. It's following the exact technical analysis that I've written down for PLTR, and it's been able to bounce off of this ascending support trend line and get back over the $16 whole number level. Now, I still have a larger target for PLTR, back down to 14 to 13.70ish. But again, if we decide to hold $16, this can continue to go up higher and possibly make another pivot high point. All right, so we can see something like this. All right, higher high until we see that actual move lower. Right, this is just a generalized move. Obviously, don't take this seriously right here. Okay, I'm just giving you guys and making a generic line here, a price path for you guys to give you guys kind of a picture of what I'm looking at. Right, so PLTR, this is kind of what I'm expecting. If $16 holds and if the price breaks over the daily resistance level sitting at $17, which is the next whole number level. So this is a pretty interesting ticker to be looking at right now. Premiums are very cheap too, so that makes it even more affordable and more, I guess it incentivizes a lot more people to be able to look at this name right now. Okay, so a miner. I am actually going to do and start your list here that you've given me. So you said thoughts on NET. So we'll go for this cloud name. So interesting enough, software and other cloud related names were very, very strong today. That was pretty interesting to see. One other one that I want you guys to look at is Veev. Right, VEEV, right? Veev. It's a very awesome name to be or ticker to be spelling out, VEEV. But Viva Systems have been absolutely strong, right? Today with this very good breakout with impeccable volume. And so when we have this price action associated with an increase in volume, you know that this one is having a very good breakout. And this is all happening while the overall market was very, very weak. And this name stayed strong from market open to market close. So NET can potentially get the same treatment as it did today, as it completely pivoted off from lows and the daily support at 78. All right, so it pivoted away, making a new level of support since it was a level of resistance back in the first week of January, which is not too far away, which wasn't too far away from now. But the 78 level is going to be pivotal. All right, I mean literally pivotal, since we did pivot away from 78 today, as the lows of today was 78.12. Now, the only thing that I worry about is that this bearish cross of the daily 10 and 21 SMAs is not good, right? We tend to see a lot of volatility, but we get an increased downside risk. Because again, it's a bearish cross. That's the reason why we call it a bearish cross, when the smaller SMA crosses below a larger SMA. So in this case, 10 crosses below the 21. So not just being bearish, simply bearish, it brings in volatility. So today's candlestick obviously introduced us to volatility in this name, but if we do see some increased sector strength again tomorrow, that continuation of tech, specifically software and cloud-based names, we could be seeing a continuation of NET higher over 82. So for NET, 82 has to be the confirmation level if you really want to see a breakout, because that will also be a break over the daily 21 SMA, since today it was lucky to be able to close over the daily 10 after losing it early in the morning. Okay, all right, let's take a look at AMD now. So AMD and obviously NVIDIA, right? So NVIDIA has been an absolute breakout winner in the CFO Swing and Watch newsletter that is sent out on Sunday. And some of my members have been able to capture this really well. Like they've absolutely caught this. Some bought at 500, some bought at that long-term entry point that I gave to everyone on Sunday night at 495.55. But overall, huge winner, right? And AMD kind of staged a similar reversal to the upside after retesting the daily 21 SMA. But now that I fear that, not just fear, based on my observations, there are a lot of individual stocks that are currently showing very bad bearish signals, like the 10 crossing below the 21, that bearish cross. So, AMD can definitely see increased volatility if we continue to stick around the daily 10 and the 21. So currently it's doing that now, right? After moving away from it for a couple of weeks and for most of December, we're right back to it. the daily 10 and 21 SMAs are getting quite close, and they look like they're about to be entangled again. And on top of that, we have the daily 50 SMA catching up pretty quickly as well. So if we do see some sort of a double top here on AMD around 151, there's a good chance we can head lower. But again, just individually, AMD is still very strong because we're still closing over both of my daily 10 and 21 SMAs. Okay, so for AMD, we need to see a break over 151 to completely negate any chances of a double top chart pattern forming. Okay, and then Minor, you said QQQ. Well, QQQ is kind of the same thing here. Well, NASDAQ is completely different because compared to the S&P 500, since we officially have ourselves a daily bearish crossover of the daily 10 and the 21 SMA. So that's not too favorable for any bulls going to the future. Now, we did see an increase in volume because of that economic data report that came out, which is CPI. However, okay, you guys have to remember that NASDAQ has been a leader, which means there is still a possibility that if we see specific leaders like what we just went through, software and semiconductors, seeing a surge back to the highs, NASDAQ will also surge back to the highs. So for now, QQQ, it's kind of on a seesaw, right? We don't know if it's going to flip to the upside or to the downside again. But so far, day to day, for this entire week, we've been reversing to the upside, just like the S&P 500. So now, right now, the S&P and NASDAQ, I'm a little bit wishy-washy on this one. So I'm not going to provide a thorough analysis on this, but QQQ staging a nice double top, potential double top as well with the lower high here today, right? And we could be potentially forming this trend line if we continue to reject underneath this trend line. But if we break over it, obviously that means we're still moving to the upside, right? Keep it as simple as that. Okay. And then we have Meta. Yeah, so Meta, amazing breakout along with Microsoft, right? Meta was able to make new 52-week highs again, right? And is very, very close to all-time highs, right? Back to the 2021, mid-2021 highs, right? Almost late 2021 highs. And this one has been an absolute monster. The relative strength index is sitting at near overbought levels, but that just simply means that this one is very, very strong. Buyers are there. It's there to support any type of flush lower and continue to buy any type of dips. And that's currently what we've been seeing for the past 4 days, including today. So Meta, I think it can still reach my next level here at 375.80-ish, or if you guys want to simply round up, 380. But Meta, definitely higher highs, higher lows. Textbook uptrend, nice exponential curve to the upside, but as it starts to hit major areas of supply, especially right underneath all-time highs, that's around 376 to around 383, we're going to start seeing some problems, right? We're going to see a lot of exits, a lot of stop losses being hit, whatever it may be, but we're most likely going to see increased volume and a lot more volatility as the price continuously moves up higher into that supply area that's sitting right at the all-time high areas that we saw back in 2021. All right. All right, so T-Mobile, so this one has been really good breakout. I mean, this is, wow. I believe this is new all-time highs too, yeah. So really good, really strong blue sky breakout over a major level of resistance at, let me actually, that's a better level. 149, right, on the weekly time frame. Or if you guys want to use this level, I mean, it doesn't really matter here at this point. 152, right? But whatever level that you guys want to choose, what we need to understand that this one is a value stock that has been seeing very good inflows to start this new year, right? We've talked about that in the newsletter in the first newsletter of this year about how we're most likely going to see a lot more value plays coming in compared to growth names, right? And we saw the reason why. I've explained it very in depth in the newsletter, so make sure you guys go back to that first newsletter of this year. So TMUS, this is a pretty good ticker for what we should be looking at now with value names. But TMUS on a daily time frame, I would say I'm getting a bit skeptical on this run up now. It might need a slight pullback, another pullback maybe into the daily 21 SMA. But this is a good micro bull flag, right? So minor, I think for you, if you want a riskier early entry, 162 will be a good bounce entry. But if you want just an ideal confirmation entry point to the long side, based off this small micro bull flag, we should be seeing a break over 164 to confirm that yes, this wants to continue to go higher and make new all-time highs. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and then second to last, whew, long list there, Minor. I'm pretty sure. Well, I highly recommend you choose which one, like at least 1 to 3 tickers that you want to stick with, because you don't want to be having such a long list, right? So XOM, oil related name. So this one's definitely going to see a gap up higher tomorrow. Why? Because crude oil futures is currently staging a very nice comeback. It was up over 2% earlier, but so far a very nice gap up since the close today. And right now it seems to be still making some very tight price action here around that 72 level that I mentioned a long time ago. I mentioned this level a long time ago back in what, I think late, yeah, right here, December 2022. Yeah, so 72 was a very good pivot area back in December 2022, and now we're right back to it, and we're again seeing pretty good support building up here. Obviously very volatile right now, especially with all that news going on with the Houthis, with the US and the UK starting its airstrikes and bombings of, you know, Houthi controlled areas. I'm not too well read into that situation right now, but I do know that it's affecting crude oil prices. So that will definitely make crude oil jump up higher as it continues to stay over the $72 level, which means stocks like XOM will find some good interim support, right? So hopefully XOM finds a pretty solid support area since it bounced off 98 multiple times here in the past, right? And currently right now. So right now it seems like it's making a typical double bottom, right? So I obviously, again, take this with a pinch of salt. It all depends on whether or not we're going to see that continued volatility from crude oil with all that news going on in the Middle East, right? And currently everything that's happening with supply and demand with crude oil, right? And just with overall oil and nat gas, and yeah. So XOM definitely, if we do see a bounce at 98 again, even though tomorrow I'm most likely going to be seeing a gap up, maybe around 99.40ish tomorrow. XOM could be a potential good play. This one's actually looking interesting so far though. And actually revisit the triple digit number here, the golden number of $100, or see a retest of the daily 10 and 21 SMAs, which has also seen a bearish cross in the daily time frame, right? So this is, again, I'm seeing these bearish crosses, right? These daily bearish crosses on the daily 10 and 21 SMAs across a multitude of names, across a lot of sectors. So watch out, right? This usually indicates a pullback, but most importantly, it indicates incoming volatility. All right, incoming volatility. Make sure you guys remember that. I even gave you guys that VIX earlier in the live stream, where I want you guys to keep in mind that even if we're seeing VIX being compressed and being completely crushed every single time, that's been preceded by a large expansion, right? An attempt at a large expansion in volatility. So as we continuously get this, there is going to be that one attempt which works, and we're going to see volatility expanding again, right? And that's going to bring more pain into equity markets. Okay. All right, and then last but not least, PayPal. Ooh, this is definitely a popular name, very, very popular name. So PayPal, obviously, it's what can I say about this one? You know, PayPal has been absolutely amazing because it has followed my technical analysis that I gave to everyone. And I think I said this back in maybe at the start of quarter 3, if you guys remember, or maybe late quarter 2 or mid quarter 2. But I said PayPal is not going to be favorable at all to anyone until the share price is around $50, right? And I got a lot of hate for that. I got a lot of flack for that because a lot of people were bullish back then. Because again, I said this, right? Just take a look at this, right? I said this while the stock was going up, right? But I was focusing on the weekly and the monthly time frame, and everything was telling me that yes, PayPal was still indeed in a downtrend. And guess what happened? This happened. And on this ticker, this weekly ticker here, look at what the low of the ticker here was. 50.25. And on this week, we got that October 27th market pivot, that official pivot, which also aligned with my analysis that I gave to everyone on, I believe, late July to early August, as I've been saying, if my memory serves me well, that we're going to be seeing an official market pivot from late October to early November. That transition from late October to early November. And that's exactly what we got. Right. And so that market pivot really helped PayPal to hold that $50 level and bounce and move away. So for now, I am a bit bullish on PayPal longer term, but yet again, we're still building a base. There's no strong sideways consolidation. Yes, we're making a nice descending, well, rather large descending channel here, okay, which is in itself bullish, but I want to see sideways where we see, decreasing interest, right? We want to see decreasing interest so that we can see eventually that breakout from the decreased interest to a surge in interest, a surge in volume, and surge in buying, right? So eventually, at some point in the next couple of months, maybe sometime mid this year, in the middle of this year, we might see that breakout of a potential sideways base, a consolidation base. But overall, PayPal is looking quite bullish again. The weekly 10 and 21 SMAs have flipped to the long side. We have a nice bullish cross, where instead of that bearish cross that I explained to you guys multiple times during this live stream, we're seeing that smaller SMA crossing over the bigger SMA, in this case in the weekly time frame. So this could be potentially a game changer for PayPal, and potentially a reversal on the longer term, and potentially, again, hitting the weekly 50 SMA, which has been a huge crux to the share price every single time it tried to rally up higher and start a new reversal to the upside, right? I mean, I can point it out multiple times there. 1, right? 2, okay, and potentially 3, right? So there is a play here, a short-term swing trade. If we are able to break over 62.50, which should align, okay, with this convergence point of this descending resistance trend line that forms this overall macro descending channel. Right, so if we're able to break over 62.50 decisively, we can see a nice shoot back over 64 and see a potential retest of this weekly 50 SMA somewhere around 65. That'll be the ideal number. Okay. All right, Miner. That is it for that list. Thank you so much for giving me that list. I mean, you provided me a lot of great technical analysis on all these names for the live stream. So again, thank you so much. And yeah, I'll see you back on the Discord with that list of good trading books to read. All right, so I want to end my night here, this live stream, with a potential swing trade idea for you guys. TME. So, I mean, you guys should know this by now. So, Chinese stocks, right? Chinese stocks have not been doing well. They haven't been doing well at all. And if you guys remember, or if you guys follow me on my Twitter page or my X page, you guys know that I have a pinned tweet of Baba, right? Pinned tweet of Baba here, and Baba here is looking pretty bearish. Right, pretty bearish. And I just like with PayPal, I think Baba still has a continued run to the downside before making the official run to the upside. And that number or numbers or value area or demand area is I think going to be for Baba, it's going to be at 62 to 60, right? So I think for Alibaba here, 62 to 60 is going to be that official pivot point for BABA. That's what I think for Baba, and hopefully it pans out for us, because PayPal perfectly panned out for us as well, right at that $50 level. Okay, and again, $50. That was literally on point. All right, from a fundamental standpoint, from a technical standpoint, perfect, literally perfect. Okay, so now if I go back to TME has been doing the completely opposite thing. TME and PDD have completely been doing the exact inverse of all its peers. All right, and PDD, if you guys didn't know, it's been rising to the upside thanks to the complete overtaking of the e-commerce market by Temu. Right, Temu, TEMU. So PDD is behind it. I believe they have a holding in Temu. Yeah. So actually, fun enough, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from my memory. Let's see. Oh, actually, no. Actually, maybe. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay. My bad, guys. So PDD is also one of the holdings. Excuse me. Make sure we go back. Okay, so TME, Tencent Music Entertainment. Okay, Tencent Holdings is one of PDD's major shareholders. Okay, so that is something to think about. All right, so TME here, ticker symbol TME, is looking really, really good to revisit its double-digit price. And right now, it's been seeing a nice breakout from this weekly level of $9. Right, it's making a it's made a very nice rounded base or rounding bottom here. All right, and potentially, if it continues to stay over $9, we should be seeing higher highs and higher lows with this weekly increased volume as well. Right, so average volume has flatlined, but we're seeing from a week-to-week basis increased interest in this name. And on top of that, we have that breakout. So with this breakout associated with an increased week-to-week volume, this is telling us that there could be a stronger move to the upside, potentially a short squeeze to the upside. And ideally, I would want to see, to go on the monthly time frame, a revisit of IPO lows sitting at $12. Okay, the IPO lows right here. Okay, So TME, this is a ticker that you guys should be watching for that retake of its double-digit share price. Okay. And then last but not least, miner, yeah. I was just about to do this one. Tesla. All right, Tesla. So miner, like I've let me show you here. So like I've mentioned today while the market was open, Tesla is right on top of its weekly 50 SMA. And mind you, the weekly 50 SMA has just made a nice golden cross as it crosses over the weekly 200 SMA. So this usually tends to be a very late and lagging indicator. These bear crosses or dead crosses and golden crosses on the larger SMAs like the 50 and 200. But I want to stay as optimistic as possible because on the weekly time frame, as we're pulling back here, we've seen that the volume has been dropping, right? It's been dropping lower and lower on a week-to-week basis. So this is pretty interesting because when we see lowering volume as the price pulls back, we tend to get very sharp pivots back to the upside. And that usually it's usually backed up by a larger volume bar, right? A larger green volume bar as buying comes in to get that nice large pivot from wherever the price was at previously. So right now we're in a position where Tesla can do that since we're sitting right at this 226.50 previous resistance level, which is now almost converging with the weekly 50 SMA, which closed at 224.45. So if we do decide to flush again tomorrow, I need to see this weekly 50 SMA being closed over it, right? Not below it, over it. So the weekly candlestick here, we need to see the price holding and closing over the weekly 50 SMA. If we don't, then it's not going to be looking too good for the stock, and we'll be heading right back down to the next major SMA, the weekly 200 SMA, which is now sitting at and closed today at 217.57. Okay, and that could also mean that we can immediately flush below the weekly 200 and hit the next major level of support at 212. Okay, so again, things are not looking too hot, but there is hope here for Tesla. Tomorrow, if we do see that pivot away from the weekly 50 SMA sitting at 224.45 and eventually stay over 226.50, which has been a major level of resistance in the past and now could be potentially a new level of support. Okay, so Tesla, definitely keep your eyes on this one. It's been in a nice stage 2 breakout from a stage analysis standpoint. Joel, if you're still here, I know you know what that is now, since I did teach you that a while back in our sessions here. So Tesla, again, really good consolidation still from a more macro, bigger picture perspective, right? The monthly is showing very, very tight price action, and again, from a monthly standpoint, the price has not moved at all since 2021. Right? I mean, if you guys want to look at it from that perspective, it completely makes sense. Right? From a logical standpoint as well. Right? The price has not moved at all since 2021. Okay? So from a monthly perspective as well, on this monthly time frame, it's pretty interesting to see how tight the price is getting with each of these monthly candlesticks. Right? Something to take note of. All right. Okie doke. That is it for tonight, guys. It's a very lengthy live stream, but I really thank you guys for everyone who has been sticking behind all of my live streams from beginning to the end. So thank you guys so much. And also to everyone who has been liking every single one of my live streams, including my videos as well that I've uploaded. Thank you guys so much. I mean, that's amazing to see you guys go out of your way to click that like button down below. And also just, it tells me that you guys are liking what I'm saying. You guys like my analysis. You guys enjoy what you guys are hearing. But overall, it really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it really pushes my content out to other like-minded people. So again, thank you guys so much for liking. And if you guys, again, haven't liked this live stream yet, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. And if anyone's watching the recording, you guys can do that now. But of course, if you guys aren't subscribed yet, I don't know why you guys aren't. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. But most importantly, after you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell icon so that you guys are notified when I am live and when I upload a new video. And just for you guys to know, the stream schedule is every single week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's live stream with this new mic. I do know that my voice sounds a lot more crisp, a lot more clearer. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the new sound and new, I guess, well, hopefully you guys don't miss that little echo that I had when I talked in my live streams or in my videos. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. All right, so I'll see you guys next week on Tuesday at the same time. Good luck tomorrow and have a great rest of your night.